gave up his practice so soon. At the same time, we are all grateful, because otherwise he would have dominated the profession. And what would we have done? But Mr. Palkhivala writes that Mr. N.A. Palkhivala believed that for income tax law to be respected, it must be respectable. And to be respectable, it must be just and fair. It follows that income tax law will be respectable if those who administer it also respect it and honor its terms. In this connection, I can do no better than quote from what? The chairman of the board, Central Board of Taxes, please note the chairman, the highest official of the income tax department. He wrote a letter in February 2012, Mr. Laxman Das, chairman, and it was addressed to all chief commissioners. And he said that there are huge arrears of tax collection. Please immediately start collecting the taxes and give me a list of what are the arrears in your jurisdiction and how much you collected by 31st March. And then he writes, please note that revenue collection is most important, and achievement in revenue collection target will obviously be given the highest weightage while writing your APR, that is your report, whilst writing your APR by reporting officers and reviewing officers, and will also be a major factor while considering placements during the year 2012. So go and collect money. If you do, I will give you a posting which you desire. And then he says, I assure you of my absolute support in this tax collection drama. Now please consider, if there are reasons for not collecting, is this not a clear signal that please go ahead and collect by all means? So we find today officers going to the bank and collecting funds which are to the credit of an SSE because an amount is due, irrespective of what is the merit of his case, irrespective of whether a stay application is pending. Indeed, knowing that a stay application is fixed at a particular time, they will go to the bank and collect money just before that. This is contrary to what the high courts have held, that whilst the stay petition is pending, you should not collect tax. This is done repeatedly. The court on a few occasions have taken note of this and have directed refund of the tax. Unfortunately, on several occasions, the High Court does not seem to be very moved when this sort of action is taken. It is a matter of contempt. A contempt notice should be issued, and only then will there be some modicum of civility in the administration of tax laws. Take the case of tax deducted at source. Tax is deducted from your income. The deductor is supposed to give you the receipt for that, and he is supposed to click his fingers and report that to some central authority situated in Bangalore. He does not do it. So the officer does not give you credit. You may file your return showing income of X, including tax deducted at source Y. He will assess X, which includes tax deducted at source, but will not give you credit for a part of Y because his record does not show it. Now, is it the fault of an SSC if the deductor of tax, who is an agent of the central government, he is not my agent, he is not the SSC's agent, does not do his duty? When this happens, can the SSC feel that tax law requires to be respected if he finds that he is asked to pay tax which has already been deducted at source? So therefore, to quote back and go back to what Mr. B.A. Palkhivala has written about Mr. N.A. Palkhivala's view, to make tax law, people respect tax law, you have to improve tax administration. You have to tell the officers that if you do contrary to the law, if you do not give credit where it is due, we will take action against you. And not tell him, look, if you do this, I will give you a good posting next time. So this is, I feel, something when you speak of modern tax law, the whole idea today is to encourage greater compliance. But that can be done if one follows at least this precept. If one wants to know about the modern position of tax law and practice, I would advise you to read the preface by Mr. Datar, where in the 10th edition he has brought out all the issues which today are very relevant. He has referred to the tax code and expressed the wish that it never becomes law. I do not know whether that is wishful thinking, but I can certainly say one thing: it should not become law in its present form. There are various provisions which have been interpreted word by word and given meaning by the courts. In trying to express the same intent in the code, the language is changed. So when you say that, look, previously the wording was XYZ, now it is WXY, so there is a change, and therefore litigation starts once again. Now, I might have supported that if I had been younger in practice. But I feel where there is already laid down law, interpreted, no dispute, you will start a fresh litigation all over again. Therefore, the code really needs to be revised, not by a bureaucrat, not by members of parliament, but by an advocate in practice who can tell the government that please do not change this word, it is already accepted, why do you want to start fresh litigation?